I mean, this is, it's leadership leaning, but I think we should start by talking about the most important thing going on.
Absolutely.
A lot of M's. Hey, M&M. March Madness.
M's. Yep.
March Marathon.
Huge.
Marathon and Madness. So, yeah, I mean, here you go. I mean, okay, so the top 4 number ones, you got Baylor.
Yep.
Arizona.
Gonzaga,
and...
Is it Kansas?
Kansas is a 4. Yeah. So I'm going Zags. Who are you going?
Zags.
Yeah, it's because we're both from Washington.
Yes, that's a big part of it.
And it's like I love Spell Compton. And I love I've always loved Coach Mark Few and all the players that have come through there. And if I were to choose Baylor, that'd be weird.
Yes, it would be. Okay, I have 2 brackets.
Yeah, well, CBS and ESPN, is that what you're talking about?
2 CBS.
Okay.
I know.
I love making up a name for my bracket, like some play on words name.
Yes. We've had some crazy ones over the year.
Yeah.
We have Zoe's Serve Team here.
Yeah.
I remember one year it was Zoe Swerve Team.
Swerve. I like saying swerve. So I'm going Zags. You're going Zags.
Yeah, I have Duke on the second one.
Duke and then yeah. It would be
just for the story.
Sensational.
It's just for the story.
His 42nd year for him to win his 6th NCAA championship.
Jeez.
Get out of here. I really wanted him to win the ACC championship. Of course, I think would have been like the 14th one. But nevertheless, salute to a leader.
Yes.
Coach K,
yes.
The greatest. And I talked about earlier the marathon. This Sunday, I am running the LA Marathon. And I'm very excited. We are announcing that 100% of the proceeds I am running and raising money for the Special Olympics.
Yes, this is so cool, by the way.
I'm so pumped.
Yeah.
I put it on the little bio thing. I'm proud to be a part of the special needs community.
Yes.
I take pride in it. And through our daughter, Georgia, we've gotten to know so many people in that community and so tight-knit. And also, the Special Olympics were started by one of my, closest friends, Patrick and Maria and the Shriver family and the Kennedys. Their their grandmother started it, and then they've carried the torch of that. And just knowing how much they've given to the Special Olympics and to be a part of that community, I know what the reason why I'm running this, and I'm running to raise awareness and raise support for the Special Olympics. So I'm excited. And I'm really excited about the meal right after.
Are you leaning towards a certain meal?
I have no desire. I'm not thinking about the meal.
Yes.
I'm just thinking about how awesome it will be to sit and eat a meal.
Have you changed your diet leading up at all?
Yeah, well, that starts today. Starting today, I start to carb load. So the other day I was at the dentist, Dr. Tom Conley. You guys know, shout out to Dr. Tom Conley, who is a bodybuilder, competitive bodybuilder.
Yes.
He's going to win his age group because now he's in his 50s and still bodybuilding. And so he asked me, are you carb loading? I said, yeah, the night before I'm going to have my big pasta dinner. And he laughed and he said, no, that's not how it works. 3-4 days before, you got to start to carb load.
Yeah.
You got to eat cream of wheat in the morning for breakfast.
No.
You got to eat little balls of rice. You got to, so that you have energy stored.
Right. I just think of The Office when I'm like,
That's the thing you're not supposed to do because again, Michael Scott, if your brain will remember, he's laying there passed out.
Defeated.
Because he didn't carb load correct. So we're running the marathon. We're filling out brackets. If you'd like to be a part of our pool, I've got a little contest going on, and I'm sending signed books and merch and all kinds of stuff to the one that wins. I think
it's going to be locked.
It's going to be locked by now.
It'll be
passed. You don't get. You're not a part of that.
Yeah.
Today we are talking about the energy bus.
Yes.
And one of our good friends, John Gordon, wrote this book years ago called The Energy Bus. Has sold now 2.5 million copies. And I just love this concept. So I'm going to use a little bit of John's Energy Bus and Jim Collins, the book Good to Great, to kind of bring. And I'm going to steal a little bit of one of my favorite writers. 3 names, John Mark Comer.
Ooh.
I love this guy. So I'm going John. I'm going. Who was the second one again? Good to Great. Jim Collins. Oh, 3 J's.
Yep.
John, Jim, John.
Jingle
all the way. So 5 thoughts today on the energy bus. We're all on a bus, and Jim Collins says this: it does not matter where the bus is going as much as it matters who's on the bus, getting the right people on the bus. And then once we're all on the bus, getting people in the right seats. That's so much of leadership, is saying, you know what, this person's an amazing person on our team. Maybe they're just in the wrong seat right now.
Wow.
Maybe, they would be better served over here, which, by the way, I just got to admit, I love the bus illustration.
Yes.
I grew up riding the bus all of middle school.
Same.
And everything I learned wrong in life, any bad word, anything that I learned that was inappropriate was on the bus.
Yes.
And you remember the bus. What I always loved about that big yellow school bus pulls up, it's loud. And then when they open that door, what are those sounds? These sounds are so enormous.
Yes.
And crashing. And the door finally opens and you walk up those stairs. You take that left and you look down that, huge line.
Felt like it was so long.
So long. And you start to look for familiar faces and who you want to sit by. My group was always in the back of the bus.
Always.
Because we can't get in trouble back there. If we're up close to the driver, we're definitely getting in trouble. So, you find your crew, and it's all, what made the bus so fun is the energy that's there.
Yeah.
And who's on the bus you're riding with. And so I want to give you a few things. Number one, bring great energy to the bus. It's like Coach K. I watched his celebration and, his last game at Cameron Indoor there at Duke University. And his daughters are there and his wife's there and the whole, 100 ex-former players and the community that surround him. And he said, what makes Duke great is not the bricks of this building, but the people that are in this building.
What a line.
And the energy of this room is what built the atmosphere and built the greatness of Duke. And I always think energy makes a place.
Yep.
And, I've said it before, but like I've been in meetings with thousands that felt like hundreds and been in meetings with hundreds that felt like thousands.
Wow.
What was the difference? It's just the energy.
Yep.
And the best thing that you can bring to the table is your energy.
That's right.
Remember years ago, Andy Stanley told a story where he stopped drinking coffee for a while. And his staff came to him and said, hey, can you start drinking coffee again? And he was like, what do you mean? They're like, your energy's terrible. Because your energy matters.
Yeah.
So I think you got to always make the decision to bring great energy to the table, great energy to the meeting, great energy to your home.
It's really good.
Can't bring toxicity. In fact, write down number 2. I'm so used to saying write down. You don't have to write down. What is that? That's just.
Yeah.
They're
probably not. They don't have pen and paper with them.
Somebody's on a run right now going, hey, buddy, I'm in mile 5.
Mental note? What are we doing here?
Yeah. What are you telling me to write stuff down?
Yeah.
It's just such a tick that I'm used to saying, write this down. Okay. The second thing I'd like to observe.
Yes. Yes. There it is.
1, you got to help me get into shape here. Okay. Is that second observation? Don't carry other people's negative energy. This is a real tough thing in leadership to me because as a leader, you lead with empathy. You lead with compassion. That's what makes you great.
Right.
Is your relatability and the fact that when someone's high, you get. I can't say you get high with them. You celebrate. I was talking about highs and lows here. When someone's winning, you celebrate their wins.
There we go. Yeah.
When someone is low, you feel their pain. That's why you go to the hospital. We rejoice with those that rejoice. We weep with those that weep. That is to me a great leader. I have the security and the confidence and the greatness about me to go like, if you're doing good, I'm doing good. I can celebrate. If you're in a bad spot, then I can feel that. A lot of times though, because we can vacillate within that, if you get offended or if the Wanster gets offended and some of my friends or my wife, I can carry those offenses.
Wow.
And the problem with that is I'm not strong enough to carry all my stuff and yours.
Right.
And this is a lie of leadership that I can carry the world's problems. I can't. I've got to find outlets to get rid of all that. So I cannot carry other people's negative energy. That's why it's so important. It's like I can't be around toxic people. I can't be around people that are always negative. I can't be around people that are critical because all of that will attach itself to me.
Right.
It's kind of like influences. If you don't choose your influences will choose you.
Love that thought.
And we've got to make sure that it's like, no, you go down that whole, the aisle, and you're like, who am I going to sit next to? You sit down next to the wrong person. That stuff gets on you.
Yes.
So I've got to choose the right influences and not carry all the negativity that could be on the shoulder of others.
Yeah.
So third one, it doesn't matter where the bus is going. It matters who's on the bus. I like John Gordon uses this phrase. He calls them energy vampires.
Savage.
Could you imagine if someone called you
What an insult.
an energy vampire? Basically, what he's saying is like, hey, if the bus is gonna go anywhere effective, and the bus is gonna accomplish anything, and if we as a group, remember, it's about we, not me. So if we're gonna do something great, we cannot allow the wrong people on this bus.
Yep.
Because we're actually making a premium on who more than what.
Right.
I always think that's leadership right there. Who I am is more important than what I do. Who I'm doing life alongside or who I'm working with matters more than what we're doing together. So if you only care about mission and you only care about results, then it's like that's going to be your life.
Yeah.
But if you care about, hey, I want to be around the right people at the right seats on the right bus, and it's about who's with us more than just what we accomplish.
Yeah.
That's choosing relationship over results.
Yep.
And that right there is a powerful truth of the energy bus. Next one is that your spirit, your energy is your responsibility. And I love this. I heard Brian Houston say this, who I think is just what an unbelievable leader. Pastor Brian built, Hillsong Church, touched the earth, the music, the ministry,
Yep.
everything that's done. And when I heard him say this years ago, I thought, wow, that puts onus on me.
Yep.
Because I cannot give control to others over the narrative of my life. My spirit is my responsibility. So I'm responsible to guard my own heart.
Yeah.
I'm responsible to forgive people if they've offended me. I'm responsible to be disciplined and devoted. All of that is on me. It's kind of like faith. In the faith world, it's like there's a transfer from when it becomes your parents' faith to yours.
Right. Right.
And then I own it.
Yep.
It's kind of the same thing with responsibility.
Wow.
It goes from being my boss's responsibility to mine.
Jeez.
My home is not up to my spouse. It's up to me.
Yep.
My spirit, my energy, which another word for energy is spirit. And I think your spirit tells on you. The thing about, that's why do people isolate? Because if they go sideways with energy or sideways with their spirit, they know it and they're afraid for them to get out in public and everybody's like, what's wrong?
Right.
And
Yeah.
they're like, no, I'm good. And you're like, no.
Clearly. Yeah.
Clearly, because that's the whole thing. Even for me as a preacher, as a minister, it's like I know a mind can reach a mind, a heart can reach a heart, but a spirit will reach another spirit. So as a spiritual leader, I've got to keep my spirit right and spirit clean and spirit, filled with faith, because the only way I have the opportunity to touch another person's spirit is if it's right.
Yeah.
That's why some people can just, you listen to some people and go, something's wrong.
Yeah. They're just weird.
What's
It's
off?
strange. It's
People will always use the word off. So my spirit, to get my spirit right and healthy and whole, is no one else's responsibility. I have to take ownership.
Jeez.
For me to walk down the aisle and be happy and whole and to add value to the organization, that's my responsibility.
Yep.
I got to get my life right. So whatever cocktail of great decisions I got to make, I've got to make those decisions so that I can be the best version of me. And the last thing I wrote down here is that Sabbath rest or your energy is drained. So on the energy bus, we want to bring great energy, but if I'm not rested, I'm not ready.
yeah.
And I use the word Sabbath here because I heard a leader I really respect the other day in the field of faith. He said 95% of pastors do not practice Sabbath rest. 95%. So I think, by the way, God put Sabbath in front of murder and stealing. So that's how much value he
Wow.
saw in it. So we would never murder and we would never steal and we would never, disrespect our parents and all these things.
Right.
But Sabbath was the one where like, maybe once a month.
Yeah.
And I think that we've got to get into practice because people's energy gets drained And sorry, I was thinking of this quote earlier. Fatigue makes cowards of us all.
There it is.
When you are fatigued, you become a coward.
Yep.
And you make cowardly decisions. And so energy is not just being about being bright and bubbly. It is about, I think we spent so much time on time management. I think we should adjust and take time with energy management.
Yeah.
Manage your energy really, really well so that when you are in public or you are trying to help, you are trying to add value, you've got something in the tank.
Right. Yeah, I think that's such a good point. You know, we thought about time management for so long, going, let's create balance in our life.
Right.
But who are we joking? There's no such thing as a balanced life. That's changes, unexpected things happen. It's having the energy when that unexpected thing comes to go, now I have enough in the tank to make sure that this doesn't take me out.
And I think, the thing about energy is like, if you're driven, probably if you're listening to this podcast, you're a driven person.
Yeah.
You're a leader.
You're a leader.
That's why you're leaning into leadership. So that drive is, that's your strength. That's your blessing. That's your grace. But if it's not tamed, and that's why I think there's a difference between being ambitious and selfish ambition. And so there's all this life is intention. So I think that you've got to be really careful here, because if I give away more than I have, if my outtake is more than my intake, I just hit a wall a few weeks ago. I was talking about this recently. I hit a wall a few weeks ago I haven't hit in a really long time, and I just could not get up. I could not really fire. And I was kind of scared. I was like, wow, I've not felt this way in a really, really long time. And I couldn't figure out what it was. And so I just slowed down a bit. I doubled down on my sleep. I doubled down on water. And within, I think sometimes we get so overwhelmed because we don't have the margin to rest.
Right.
When you are rested, and that's what I'm talking about, a Sabbath day, 24 hours, Christmas day once a week. If you take a Sabbath, you're going to come out of that thing going, all right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Yes.
So what hobbies do you have? What shows or retail therapy or food or date night, or what do you need to help you when you come back to your work? You don't just re-engage it, you devour it.
Yes. Yes.
You know?
I love what you're saying. And I think a huge part of it is it's got to be intentional. It's not rest if it's unintentional. That's called being lazy.
That's right.
I talked to someone today, and he said, yesterday I felt so unproductive. I took 5 naps, watched a couple seasons of a show, and I just felt like I wasted a day. And I was like, you did waste a day.
Did you talk to a sloth? Like, who did you?
We don't have to say names.
Let's not get into names, man. We can't be doing that.
But that's not Sabbath rest.
No.
Rest is part of the cycle.
Yeah.
Of going, I'm going to be intentional. It's proactive. It's not lazy. So I can go as hard as I possibly can the next day.
And I really like, the biblical model for us is God. He worked 6 days. I like to work. I love work. So
I love it.
We can't, deny that work is a gift from God. He gives us strength to do his bidding. So I love to work. But if I love to work, I will love to rest.
Yep.
Because the more that I am rested, the more I am excited and ready to do what I'm called to do.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about the energy bus. And when you get on the energy bus, don't sit next to the wrong people.
No.
And be someone that you're more of an influencer than you're influenced.
Yep.
And guard your spirit from the wrong stuff, because I've seen negative people destroy great people.
Yeah.
Bad company corrupts good care. I've seen toxic, cancerous, critical people destroy awesome people. Sometimes I've had to disengage from relationships because I'm like, I'm not strong enough to be around this person. Yeah. They will take me out. I'm not strong enough to stand up to them, and their spirit is so convincing and overwhelming. I can't be around their energy.
Yeah.
It's going to mess with mine.
You can't sacrifice your character for someone else's comfort. Going like, okay, I'm going to give up my virtue. I'm going to give up my principles to make sure you're good. For you, like, is there a clear line? Like, is that a clear line for you? Or is it like, I feel this out and go, whoa, I gave out a little bit more than I thought I did.
Well, I always think, listen, you've got to be a principally driven person. I aspire to live my life by principles. for me, my worldview is through a biblical lens.
Yes.
So through the Bible. And so I want to live on biblical principles. So I cannot afford to really allow people that aren't living by the same principles to affect me greatly and to be an influence on me.
Give too much influence.
Because we have different values. We have
Yep.
different principles. And I respect all people. And I'll listen to all people. I love all people. But I'm talking about like where I'm going and who I'm trying to have on my bus with me, especially in from an organizational leadership standpoint. I can't have a clashing of different values.
Right.
And does that make sense? Like, because these principles are leading me and guiding me.
Yes. It's you're on the energy bus. You can't have someone yanking the wheel.
Yeah,
Trying to go. This is the turn.
Yeah, that's exactly right. No,
Yeah.
it's like, no, we made this decision. We're going to do this.
It's really good.
So, episode number, we don't care. I don't want to know the answer. The Wanster was probably ready with the answer. Don't tell us the episode.
I was going to say it.
And it's our first ad in the history of our leadership lean into this exciting stuff. And wish me luck, Marathon Sunday. And I hope that Gonzaga wins.
Yeah. Okay. One last thing. Tag Pastor Chad. You know, what was it? At Chad Veach on Instagram.
Yep.
Tag your bracket.
Oh, I love
your
that.
bracket.
Tag the bracket. We want to know, who did you choose?
Yes.
Yes. I like to know who made the Final Four and who's in the championship game and who's the winner. Those are the three things.
That's it. I could care less about the rest.
Yeah, the rest is all tomato.
Yeah.
We're out. Hey, so this is like our first ad.
It's pretty cool.
This is in How Much Does God Love Us? It's about coffee.
This is a special moment.
You're probably the person that knows the most about coffee in my life and is the most coffee connoisseur. So we get to talk about, how about trade coffee?
Yeah, trade coffee.
Didn't you say that you used to subscribe and now you're resubscribing?
Yes, I'm resubscribing. I'm doubling down.
Oh,
because it's so easy to get coffee from Trade Coffee that you will enjoy. That works perfectly for you.
Yeah, whether you take your coffee full-bodied roast, these are terms you know, I don't. Something light. We all have our preferences. I just bring what Nate has cooked up.
Yes.
And no matter what you love to drink, Trade Coffee makes it easy to brew your best cup at home. Wait,
yes.
Did you use this at home?
Yeah, I use this at home. So you log in and you take a quiz. It feels like, you know,
on coffee that you like.
Yeah, this is how I do it at home. This is how I like it.
It's like the Enneagram for coffee.
Exactly it.
Trade sells the freshest roasted and ethically sourced beans from America's best independent roasters. They ship free to you as often as you'd like, whole or ground, whether you're a coffee nerd like Nate,
like myself,
or just want a better daily cup like me. Trade's real coffee experts taste test over 400 roasts. Is this real?
Yeah, this is true.
400 roasts.
Yes.
And use technology to match you to your ideal coffee based on your preferences and brewing method. Take the coffee quiz. Nate took it for us.
Yep.
Trade Coffee guarantees you'll love your first bag or they'll replace it for free. These guys are very on top of it.
This is how I find all my favorite roasters.
Jeez.
Just through Trade Coffee. I'd go on.
They've been featured on New York Times, Wired, GQ, and they have delivered over 5 million bags of coffee. Their subscription is no hassle. Skip the shipments, change your frequency, or cancel at any time. And guess what? For leadership listeners,
here we go.
We are going to have a $20 off your first 3 bags.
Wow.
Go to drinktrade.com/LLI, which stands for, of course, Leadership Lean In. That's more than 16 cups of coffee for free. I'm excited.
16 cups. That sounds like, yes, you know, that's one day.
Yeah.
For me, I'm going all in.
That's it. Let's drink some coffee. Trade coffee.